During that retreat, we shall also spare 2 days for a meeting of the National Executive Committee. And during that meeting, we shall approve nominees from the DP Women's League. Our constitution requires that the number of women in the National Executive Committee should not fall below 30%. Right now, the number is below 30%. So the National Executive Committee has a duty to approve, I believe, at least 5 women to join the National Executive Committee. We will get recommendations from NEC members, but primarily from the Women's League. And then the National Executive Committee will make that decision. Now, that is our constitution. You saw the NRM the other day inviting members to their Central Executive Committee. We also have that provision to cater for women. I wish to call upon members of the Democratic Party to step forward and contest for positions as Local Council 1 chairpersons and Local Council 2 chairpersons, and also as chairpersons of women councils countrywide. I need to remind members of DP that all parties have problems. We have 3 things. We have President Museveni, the man. Then we have got President Museveni, the machine he has built over 40 years. Then we have President Museveni, the mindset. You must deal with all the 3. And the only way to deal with it is through constructive engagement. There's no other way. You can't deal with something you don't understand. So, I told you that if the president is like a person on top of a tree, then we have 2 types of people who have different approaches on how he can come down. The radicals in the opposition are coming with an axe and saying, we are cutting down the tree that will bring you down whether you like it or not. And we are saying no. Then they say, the person on the tree has bought you. That's why you are stopping us from using an axe. They don't know that that tree is the state of Uganda. So what is the point of having state collapse? Some of us are saying, let's build a ladder through dialogue and have clear rules that the person on the tree can climb down and live with the rest of us, and the citizens agree on who should climb and be up there. That's how normal countries function. Congo has done it. You see, Ugandans really disrespect Congolese, but they have done one thing we have failed to do. Burundi has done it in their own rudimentary way. They have shown that it is actually possible for one leader to leave and another leader to come in. So, the response to radicalism by DP is to call for a national dialogue, so that the radicals on all sides. So the radicals in NRM could not allow me to have a hearing before the SEC or even before the parliamentary caucus. But I accepted it and kept quiet. Now I'm back at the Ministry of Justice. Maybe some people didn't want me to go back there, but I'm there. And you heard the president say, we are allies. Allies means you agree on more things than you disagree on. That's what being allies mean. Other people, especially my friends in DP, were saying, now that NRM and PLU have endorsed a candidate, please don't embarrass yourself by going up to the end. And I said, I'm ready to receive my vote to show that I believe in myself.
You won 15 constituencies.
I got 15. The president was complaining that those were his votes.
15 constituencies.
And then he said, we need to talk about them. We shall definitely talk. So what's the problem in the opposition? The problem in the opposition is failure to adapt to the new power dynamics. I was joking in my office earlier that that's the problem of Brazil in football. They are playing 1970s and 1980s football in 2026. You see, you must keep adapting. I see some of you saying, if the Mao of 20 years ago met the Mao of today, they would fight. Obviously, they must fight, because the circumstances have changed. You mean if you brought Idi Amin to Uganda and you said this is Uganda, you would say, no, this is not Uganda. Where is officers' mess? Say, no, there's no officers' mess anymore. It is not there. So the shallowness of our so-called analysts just shocks me. You must keep adapting. You must keep adapting to the changing circumstances. So the music changes, you are still dancing the same way. Okay, it may be a good dance, but those who are looking at you will wonder whether you are deaf. So we kept telling our friends in the opposition, the time has come for us to engage President Museveni, whether behind the scenes, whether what, through iPod. Others were making it a point of pride. We will never be photographed with President Museveni. How? And then me, Mao, they said that I'm now part of the junta. But now, what strategy do you have? So don't think that this is just about the opposition. We must build a Uganda which is safe for all political parties. Because if a house catches fire, then there's no safe room. You cannot say, my room is safe. You pray for those whose rooms are burning. Eventually the fire will catch you also. When I was a young man in parliament, there are those who used to mock us because of the war in northern Uganda. But did they know that $1.7 billion, which would have built schools and roads and health centers in the southern part of the country, was being used in the war in the north? So you are paying a price whether you believe it or not. It doesn't need a very big brain to understand that. It is costing you. So even the NRM needs a safe Uganda, which is safe for all political parties. So the failure to adapt is what has mainly caused many of the disagreements. The other problem in the opposition is hypocrisy. Pretending. One time I came here and I said, Dr. Besigye was in talks with President Museveni. First they denied it, then the data came out. So you are talking, you are fighting. What is what? Discussion in the iPod summit. Now, as the chair of the Cabinet Standing Committee on Human Rights, we still expect to get a full briefing by the security chiefs, which includes the CDF, the Inspector General of Police, the Commissioner General of Prisons, the Director General of External Security Organization, and the Director General of Internal Security Organization. We believe the information they will share with us as the Cabinet's Standing Committee on Human Rights will help us understand what is going on better. I don't like talking about things that I don't understand fully. So, for the record, the members of the Cabinet Standing Committee on Human Rights include myself as the chair, the Minister of Internal Affairs as the deputy chair, and the members are Minister of Defense, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister of Local Government, Minister of Gender, Labor and Social Development, the Attorney General, the Government Chief Whip, and ex-officio Secretary General of the NRM. Now I want to picture all those people in one room being briefed, because we must act as the whole of government. Now I understand the reason why people make the comments they make on social media. I want to assure you that we should let the system that is established work. In the same way that we were able to understand the 2020 unrests and the tragic happenings, I believe even this one we will get to know more. I'm not the judge, but I think all parties, the accused persons and the prosecution, should agree to move with the case forward. In any case, all decisions are even appealable. I believe that when I get more information, I'll be back to explain to you what really is happening in these cases. I also listened to the speech of the president when he addressed the nation, and he basically said the same thing I've said now. That the CDF's radical response to radicalism in the opposition. And the answer to that is for us not to be watching the game of the radicals. The answer is for us to focus on the real game that takes Uganda forward. And DP is in the best position to lead that. For those who have questions in English, I want to give you time now.